as the gray hull of the 31st Type 052D destroyer was painted with the striking hull number 127. The morning mist had yet to dissipate at the Jiangnan shipyard. This warship, named the Zhumadian, silently announced a fact: since the first ship, the Kunming, entered service in 2014, the Chinese Navy has expanded the fleet of these 7,000-ton destroyers to an unprecedented 31 ships in Asia in just 11 years, with an average annual production rate of nearly 3 ships. This dumpling-making pace has not only rewritten naval equipment development history, but also left behind the era when main battleships were named after provincial capitals: Weinan, Suzhou, and Zhumadian. The names of ordinary prefecture-level cities have been consecutively inscribed on the bows of ships, becoming the most tangible symbols of China's rapid expansion of maritime power. The rise of the 052D began with the ingenious integration and continuous iteration of mature technologies. As a deeply evolved version of the 052C, it further optimizes the ship's stealth design, with a greater inward tilt angle of the upper structure and a reduced radar cross-section, resulting in a sleeker overall profile. What truly establishes its status as the youthful version of China's Aegis are the 4 massive flat panels embedded in the ship's bridge walls. The 346A active phased array radar. This system has a detection range exceeding 450 kilometers and has already surpassed the Spy-1D radar of the U.S. Navy's Arleigh Burke-class destroyers in certain performance metrics. Below the deck, the 64-cell vertical launch system functions like a multi-warhead magic box in the deep sea, capable of mixing and matching Honky 9B long-range air defense missiles, YJ-18 anti-ship, land attack cruise missiles, U-8 rocket-assisted anti-submarine torpedoes, and even accommodating YJ-21 hypersonic missiles, achieving tactical flexibility with one launch tube for 4 missiles. This level of firepower density is unmatched among 7,000-ton class vessels, yet it does not come at the expense of iterative capabilities. The evolutionary trajectory of the Type 052D is clear. Starting from the third batch, the hull was quietly extended by 4 meters to 161 meters, with a full load displacement exceeding 7,500 tons, dubbed the Type 052DL. By the fourth batch, the upgrades were even more significant. The main mast was replaced with the 368 Type X-band, dual-face rapid response radar, increasing the detection range for stealth targets like the F-35 by 50%. The helicopter deck was extended to 161 meters, completely resolving the space constraints for the Z-20F anti-submarine helicopter's takeoff and landing, and the displacement was further increased to 8,000 tons, approaching the 8,300-ton level of the early U.S. Arleigh Burke-class destroyers. It is precisely this incremental improvement and continuous evolution strategy that allows the Type 052D to maintain high production line efficiency while keeping its performance aligned with the latest battlefield requirements. Cost control and industrial efficiency form the dual engines driving the Type 052D's scale expansion. With a unit cost of approximately 3.5 billion yuan, it is less than 60% of the Type 055's cost, but achieves approximately 70% of its firepower projection capability. The 2 major shipbuilding bases in Jiangnan and Dalian operate in parallel, leveraging modular construction technology and highly domesticated supply chains to maintain an annual production rate of around 2.3 vessels, far exceeding the U.S. Arleigh Burke-class destroyers' average annual production efficiency of 1.5 vessels. This high cost-effectiveness mass production model has enabled the Chinese Navy to achieve a significant boost in combat capabilities within a limited budget. Currently, the 30 active 052D destroyers are strategically deployed across the 3 fleets. The East Sea Fleet commands 16 vessels facing the Taiwan Strait and Ryukyu Islands, the South Sea Fleet controls 12 vessels at Key Island and Reef Choke Points, and the North Sea Fleet has reorganized its 10th destroyer squadron around 9 vessels, completely shedding its former retirement fleet label. This deployment ensures that 20 vessels are always on standby, with an average annual deployment period exceeding 200 days. From escort missions in the Gulf of Aden to joint military exercises with Russia and Iran, the 052D continues to demonstrate its operational reliability in complex environments. However, behind the rapid expansion lies an even more urgent practical need. China's Blue Water Navy strategy is currently facing 3 pressing tasks. First, the rapid expansion of aircraft carrier strike groups. The Type 003 Fujian-class carrier has been launched, and the Type 004 has been confirmed to be under construction, with each strike group requiring 4-6 escort vessels. Second, the simultaneous rise of amphibious assault ship groups, with the 5th Type 075 just starting construction, and the Type 076 unmanned carrier, Sichuan, already undergoing sea trials, leading to a surge in escort vessel requirements. Finally, there is immense pressure to replace aging vessels, with over a dozen vintage ships such as the 4 Modern class, 6 Type 052C, and 2 Type 051C destroyers urgently needing replacement. Even if calculated at the minimum requirement level, 40 Type 052D destroyers would still struggle to fully cover the aforementioned demands, let alone address multiple simultaneous maritime disputes. Japanese media have speculated that China plans to build 50 Type 052D destroyers to complement 24 Type 055 destroyers in a dual-pronged architecture, which does have strategic rationale. Just as the outside world anticipated that the Type 052D would aim for the 50-ship mark, a technical divergence has already emerged. In early 2025, a leaked design for a 9,000-ton multi-purpose destroyer cast doubt on the future of the 052D. The new design directly addresses the physical limitations of the 052D, due to the use of 2 CGT-25M gas turbines and diesel engines in an alternating power configuration. The ship is forced to adopt an 8.5 aspect ratio hull to maintain a speed of 30 knots, resulting in inferior seaworthiness. Despite the expanded 7,000-ton platform, living quarters for crew members remain cramped, making long-term overseas deployments challenging. In contrast, the 9,000-ton design leverages domestically developed CGT-30M, 40M high-power gas turbines, widens the hull to improve stability, expands vertical launch cells to 80 units, and comprehensively optimizes living quarters, a tailored upgrade solution for overseas operations. The more profound impact lies in the repositioning of the naval equipment system. The 052D and 055 classes have established a mature, high-low combination framework. The 055, as a 10,000-ton platform equipped with 112 large-caliber vertical launch cells, focuses on long-range maritime control and anti-missile defense, while the 052D leverages its cost-effectiveness to undertake routine patrols, fleet escort missions, and regional air defense. If a 9,000-ton destroyer enters service, its role must avoid overlapping with the 055's tasks, potentially focusing on an enhanced multi-purpose destroyer to fill the operational gap between the two. Therefore, the construction of the 052D is likely to pause after the delivery of all 13 vessels in the 4th batch, with subsequent production capacity allocated to new platforms. However, military exports have injected new vitality into this class of ships. Pakistan has signed an order for 4 052D destroyers, and countries like Algeria and Saudi Arabia are closely monitoring the situation. The globalization of Chinese warships has quietly begun. Looking back at the new ship with hull number 127 in the shipyard, its significance goes far beyond a single equipment upgrade. In the journey from catching up to keeping pace, the 052D reflects the Chinese Navy's pragmatic philosophy, not blindly pursuing technological leaps, but instead leveraging continuous iteration and economies of scale to extract the full potential of a mature platform. When the anchor chain of the 40th Type 052D struck the water, the balance of power in the Pacific had already shifted quietly. The blueprint for the next-generation multi-purpose destroyer signals that the Chinese Navy is transitioning from scale leadership to technology-driven innovation.